When we're talking about absolute value, we're talking about distance. Specifically, the distance from 0 on a number line. When we measure distance, we don't say something is negative 30 miles away. We would just say it's 30 miles away. A good example of this is to start on a number line at 0. There are two numbers that are 3 spots away from 0 on a number line. If we travel to the right 1, 2, 3 spaces, the number 3 is 3 spots from 0. But if we go back to 0 and we travel 1, 2, 3 spots to the left, the number negative 3 is also 3 spots from 0 on a number line. Likewise, if you start at 0 and travel, say, 7 spots to the right, the number 7 counts. If we start at 0 and travel 7 spots to the left, negative 7 is also 7 spots from 0. So when we talk about absolute value, we're typically talking about two numbers on the number line, one in either direction. To see this in numbers and symbols, we use this symbol. It's just a straight up and down bar to mean absolute value. So if we're talking about the absolute value of 3, what we're asking is, how far is the number 3 from 0 on a number line? As we already checked, it is 3 spaces from 0 on a number line. So the absolute value of 3 is 3. If we're talking about the absolute value of a negative number, say negative 7, this is asking how many spots from 0 is negative 7 on a number line. In our earlier example, we started at 0 and we counted to the left 7 spaces. So the number negative 7 is actually 7 spaces away from 0. Important thing to remember about absolute value is that whatever number is in between these bars, all you really need to do is make it positive to get the correct answer. So if we're talking about the absolute value of negative 1 million, the answer is positive 1 million. Whatever is in between those absolute value bars, you just make it positive. That's how we can quickly tell the distance from 0 on a number line. How do we solve these type of problems? Because they're not always going to be as easy as what is the absolute value of negative 7. To solve these problems, you split them into 2 problems. Because we know that there are 2 numbers that share the same absolute value, that means when we see a problem with absolute value, there's usually going to be 2 possible answers to solve it correctly. So your easy problems might look something like this. We would ask you, what is the absolute value of 3x equals 9? And we want to know what x is. Well, what we do to get rid of these bars, we know that there are 2 spots on the number line that are 9 spots away from 0. One of them is positive 9. The other one is negative 9. Both positive 9 and negative 9 are 9 spots from 0 on the number line. And then we just solve these problems like we would any other algebra problem. You just have 2 of them to do. In this case, the 3 is connected to the x by multiplication, so we would divide both sides by 3 and find that x equals 3. That's one of our solutions. Over here, we split the 3x with the divide 3 and find out that in this problem, x equals negative 3. Either of these solutions is acceptable because either number plugged in for x would yield the correct answer. 3 times 3 is 9. The absolute value of 9 is 9. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and the absolute value of negative 9 is 9. So you should usually come up with 2 answers for each problem. The medium problems might look something like this. Absolute value of 2x plus 4 equals 8. It follows the same rules as the ones above it. We're going to split this into 2 problems. One problem is going to be 2x plus 4 equals 8. The other problem, 2x plus 4 equals negative 8. Again, we can do that because we know that there are two spaces on a number line that are exactly 8 spots from 0. One of them is positive 8 if you travel to the right. The other one's negative 8 if we travel to the left. And then you solve these problems as you normally would. We would subtract 4 from both sides, find that 2x equals 4, and then divide by 2. And on the left side, we find that x equals 2. On the right side, we follow the same steps. Subtract 4. 2x equals negative 8 minus 4, which is negative 12, and then divide by 2 to find that in this equation, x equals negative 6. Okay, so again, two answers. If we plugged 2 in for x, we would be doing 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 4, which is 8, and the absolute value of 8 is 8. If we change x to negative 6, we would be doing 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. When we add 4 to negative 12, we get negative 8, and the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. The simple way to remember this is that if you take whatever is between these bars and split it into two problems, once make it equal to a positive answer and once to a negative answer. So 2x plus 4 equals positive 8, and also 2x plus 4 equals negative 8.